use your ruler to draw the x-axis so that it goes through points A and B. Do you see points A and B?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to draw our x-axis so that it goes through points A and B. Now, it's not always going to go on the exact bottom. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So your x-axis is going to go through points A and B. So you draw it and label it. So I need to label X. Label your x-axis. I'm skipping this one part because I don't like where it is. Okay. I'm moving this around because I don't like the order that it's in. Okay. Draw a perpendicular line that goes through points C and D. So we are going to draw a perpendicular line that intersects our x-axis. What's perpendicular?
That makes a right angle. Two lines.
An intersecting line that creates a right angle. So it goes like this. It's going to intersect our x-axis that goes through points C and D. So it's pretty simple. There's C and D. It's got to go up and down, straight up and down. And we're going to label it Y. So use your ruler, go down. Ooh. Well, see, I can't really see what I'm doing until I've done it. Label it Y. Oh. You would think this would be easy, but when you've got one that doesn't follow the outside of your grid paper, people really mess it up. Label your origin 0. Where is my origin?
Where your two lines meet together at the bottom.
Where my two axes intersect is 0. And I like to put my 0 right there at the corner so that I don't put any other number there. Some people will put 1 there. 1 doesn't go there. That's 0. Sometimes 1 doesn't even go with that very first line. Sometimes it's sometimes it might be a half. Sometimes it might be a third. It's not always a half. Sometimes it's a fraction or a decimal. But sometimes it's a fraction. So where these intersect is always 0. Okay. Let me see what I've got here. Where point A. Do you see point A?
Yes.
Do you see point A?
Yes.
Point A is the whole number 1. Point A is whole number 1. We did draw the x-axis, label it. Draw the y-axis, label it. Label the origin, label point A as 1. So since we labeled point A as 1, we can label the rest of the hashes all the rest of the way. Now, it's easier for you to do it. You don't have to. You can do just the whole numbers. Okay? But you need to be able to know where to put the whole numbers. So, does 2 go right here?
No.
No. So, if I look between the 0 and the 1, now with every single whole coordinate grid that you're going to do going to be exactly like this one?
No.
No. One thing that we're going to do when we see our problem set, it's going to be kind of like what we're doing right now, and it's going to tell you what our counts are going to be. So if we look here, we have 0, skip, 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 1, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I see, I'm not even going to say, I'm not counting because it's going to mess me up with the numbers that I write. So I'm doing like a counting pattern. So 0, skip, 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 1. Skip, 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 2. And you see, I'm not numbering the blanks. I'm numbering the line. Do not do the blank. You've got to do the lines. So it's 0, skip, 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 1. Skip, 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 2.
3 skips?
How many skips did I just say? Skip, skip, skip. Skip, skip, skip. Skip, skip, skip. 3. Skip, skip, skip. 4. Skip, skip, skip. 5. If you number it correctly, 5 should be the very last line. And you're going to do the very same thing. Or maybe do like 1, skip 1, skip 2, skip 3. Huh?
Wait.
Skip, 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 skip.
4.
Skip, 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 5. And 5 is the very last one. See, mine is the very last one. So now you're going to do it going up. What you have on the X, you're going to have the very same thing on the Y. Remember how I said your X and Y are going to be the same. I've got 0, skip, 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 1. I'm putting the 1 where the line is, not the blank. Skip, skip, skip. I've got a 2 where the C is. Did you get a 2 where the C is? If you number it correctly, you should get a 2 where the C is. Skip, skip, skip 1. Skip, skip, skip 2. If you do it correctly, 2 should be where C is. Skip, skip, skip. 3. If you do your numbers huge, you're going to end up with a number on the blank. You don't want numbers on the blanks. Skip, skip, skip. 4. Skip, skip, skip. 5 should be the very last line.
Hold on. I have mine on the 8. Wait. But it wasn't in the 6. Oh,
Put your, oh wait, no, I'm going to go back over here. I'm looking at this. So, what is the X coordinate of A? You don't have to look at mine, you can look at yours. What is the X coordinate of A? The X coordinate of A. 1. What is the Y coordinate of A?
1.
0, because it's not going up at all. So A is 1, 0. So A is 1, 0. It goes over to the 1, but doesn't go up. So it's 1, 0. Your coordinates. They go in the elevator before they go up in the elevator. For the millionth time. Okay, put your finger on E.
Yes.
Find E. So on E, I want you to write the coordinates of E around somewhere around E. I want you to write the coordinates of E Write the coordinates, the x and y coordinates of E. Write the coordinates of E. Heather, what are the coordinates of E? 2 and 1. So it goes over to 2, up to 1. Very good. You didn't reverse them. Good job. Okay. So put your finger on F. Right here. F. Well, I want you to write the coordinates for F. That one's going to be a little bit trickier. Wait. So, Lee, what is it?
4 and 4 and 2 and 4. What?
Okay. 2 and 3/4. So it's 2. It doesn't go all the way up to 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts that make up the space. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 to get to 3. So this is on the third line. 3/4. Remember how we had to do that yesterday? So to figure out what each line is, if you weren't sure, some of y'all went ahead and numbered it out. You numbered your hashes. Not all of them are going to be fourths. I saw some of y'all on your homework. There was only, you had 0, and then you had 1. And you had 1 line in there, and then you had a line, and then you had 2. And you had your, this is extra, and you had your coordinates, and y'all were throwing fourths in there and thirds in there. There's 1 line. That would be 1/2. So there's 1, 2. 2 to make up the whole. So your denominators are 2 on that one. So you can't assume that every single one, just because what we did yesterday was fourths, not every single one that we do is going to be fourths. Just because this one is fourths, what we're doing later is not going to be fourths. What you're doing for homework is not going to, I'm telling you right now, it's not fourths. So it's not. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to make the whole. So this is 1/4, this is 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4. So some people went ahead and numbered them. I'm not, because my smartboard marker's fat. I already told you that. So if you've got 4 spaces to make up the whole, your denominator's 4. If I've got only 1 line in between 0 and 1, 2 spaces, your denominator is a 2. If I've got 3 spaces to make up the whole, my denominator is a 3. Don't make it something it's not just because we practiced something different. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3 fourths, 2 and 3/4. Okay, so I want you to write the coordinates for the other points. So we've got B, C, D, G, H, and I. So write the coordinates for those points. What is the coordinate of I?
3 and 1/4 and 1. 3 and 1/4 and 1. Yes, you got it right.
So 3 and 1/4 and up 1/4. Okay, what about C?
0 and 2.
0 and 2. It does not go to the right at all. It does not go to the right at all. It just goes straight up the line. What about G?
1, 1/4, and 3 1/2.
So it goes 1 and 1/4, and then 3. You can do 3 2/4 or 3 1/2 because they're both equivalent. It's the same thing. Okay, what about D?
0 and 4 1/2.
0 and 1/4. 0 and 1/4. Okay, what about H?
4 1/4 and 4 1/4. Wait, what? 4 and 1/4. 4
and
1/4. 1/2.
If this is 4, this is 4 and 1/4. This is 4 and 2/4 or 4 1/2. And then what about B?
4 3/4 and 3/4 and 0.
4 3/4 and 0. Okay. The directions say, if you actually read the question, which some of y'all didn't, and started slapping a line on there, that's so great. If you went ahead and don't do what I'm doing. If you went, oh, great, line, 0. You see these great little questions up here on top? What did you not do?
Read.
You didn't read them.
Oh wait, I looked on the
Yeah, because letter A says construct an x-axis that passes through points A and B. So if you had read A, letter A, did this follow letter A? No, it didn't. Remember how I said that not every single one, I said this in the last one that we did. I said not every single one is going to follow down and go over and your origin's there. That's why I said it. I said you're going to want to make sure that if there are directions that you
read them.
I know that whole, ooh, gas. Read. We don't like to do it. Should have done it. Y'all, some of y'all grabbed those rulers and started throwing lines on there. You need to draw a horizontal line through A and through B. So your x-axis is actually there. So if you just threw it on the very bottom line, you already messed it up. And your coordinates, if it's down a notch, all of your y coordinates would be 1 off. Every single one. So this needs to be labeled as X. Letter B says, construct a perpendicular y-axis that passes through points C and F. So if you had also put your line right here, every single set of coordinates that you did, every single one, would have been wrong. That would have been a really, really bad grade if that had been scored. So your y-axis is actually supposed to be here. So this needs to be a following directions kind of thing. So your y-axis is there. If there are sentences above, if there are directions up top, you need to actually look at them and make sure that they're not telling you to do something to the picture that's down below. They might be telling you something important that you need to do. So we did A. We did B. Label the origin as 0. So label the origin as 0. The easiest thing to do is just put that 0 right there where all of the lines intersect. I just put a circle around the corner or where they're crossing. I just throw a circle around it because that's a big 0. It keeps me from putting a number there. It keeps me from putting like a 1 or a fraction. It doesn't keep me because I don't do it. But it should keep some of you from putting like a 1 there. Because I saw some people doing it yesterday, even though I had said skip a line 1/2. I saw people putting like a 1 here. At the very beginning where there should be nothing, where the origin is, I saw like a 1 or a 1/2. So your 0, your origin should actually be right here in the corner. Can you please stop writing your little story and put that up? Like, seriously, put it up. Okay, so that's that. The x-coordinate of B. B is all the way over here. The x-coordinate of B is 5 2/3. Not always a 4. Remember how I said that? Now it's thirds. So the x-coordinate of B is 5 2/3. So that one spot of B is 5 2/3. So now I can figure out what my other whole numbers are. It says label the whole numbers. Now, if you want to label all of your hash marks, you can. If it makes you comfortable labeling all of them, fine. Because some people really need every single hash labeled. Do it. Me personally, again, smartboard markers are really fat and chunky, and it takes up a lot of room. And can you stop looking at my stuff? Let's go. So it's too fat and chunky for me to do this with this. It'd be really cluttered. So I know what comes after 5 2/3? 6. So I know that 6 goes there. What comes before 5 2/3?
5 1/3.
5 1/3. What comes before 5 1/3? 5. So I know that 5 goes here.
Wouldn't you skip a line between each one?
Well, I was figuring out, I'm doing this to figure out how many lines to skip. I'm using the information they gave me to figure out where to start over here. Because I can't just slap a 1 down here. I mean, I can, because I know what I got to do. But I'm showing you how to figure it out. Okay? So, you saw it here. They gave you 5 2/3. If y'all are supposed to go, go. So, they gave you 5 2/3. This was information that was up top. So, I'm using this so that I can figure out how many skip, whole number skip, or where my whole numbers are going to go. If you want to label every single one, if you want to go like, okay, I know they're thirds, you can do 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 is 1. If you want to do that, fine. Some of you don't want to. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. So, I'm just showing like me because I have my smartboard marker and it won't fit. So I've got 5 2/3. 5 3/3 is 6. 1 before 5 2/3 is 5 1/3. 75. So I've got whole number, skip, whole number. So now I can go back over here. I've got 0, skip, 1. skip, skip 2, skip, skip 3, skip, skip 4, skip, skip 5, skip, skip 6. Then it ended up working. If you number it correctly, it should all end up where it looks like mine. Unless you want to just do 1/3, 2. When it's got, it gave you 3 as a denominator, so they're all going to be thirds. If you just want to do 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 is 1. 1 and 1/3, 1 and 2/3. Please don't put 1 and 3/3. You should know that that's 2. When you hit a 3/3, you should go ahead and put the next whole number. 2. 2 and 1/3. If you need to put the mixed fractions, do it. I'm not telling you not to. You're going to have the same exact stuff going up the side. It's telling you that the y coordinate of C is 5 and 1/3. So this, if you do it right, will be 5 and 1/3. And then it says to number your whole numbers up the side. So right before C should be 5. Make sure you do your lines and not the spaces. The lines and not the spaces. So it's 0, skip, skip 1, skip, skip 2, skip, skip 3, skip, skip 4, skip, skip 5, skip, skip 6. How many times did I say skip? Skip, skip. Identify all of the points that have an x coordinate of 3 and 1/3. So 3 and 1/3, here's the x coordinate, 3 and 1/3 right here. So all of them that would have an x coordinate of 3 and 1/3 right here would be J. I can't see my paper. J, I, H, and D. They all would have an x coordinate of 3 and 1/3. So J, I, H, and D. Every single one of those go to the right 3 and 1/3. Cameron, I'm looking at the back of your head. I should either see the side of your face or the front of your face. There's nothing back there that you need. You can stop looking at Malachi. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. All the points that have a y coordinate of 2 and 2/3. So if I were writing a coordinate by every point, there are more than one that are y coordinate of 2 and 2/3, which means I would go up 2 and 2/3 right here. So F, E, H, K. F, E, H, K. When it says all of the points, there's more than one. We just said the point, then there's one. If it's all of the points, you could infer that there's more than one. All of the points, plural, more than one. Doesn't it have an S on the word point? All of the points. I'm wearing all of my jackets. Am I? I'm wearing a jacket. Does it say name the point that has a y coordinate of 2 and 2/3? No, all of the points. More than one. All of them. Which point? One of them. There's only one. Which point is 3 and 1/3 units above the x-axis? So you go to the x-axis and you go above it. Learn your prepositions. Above means over. Go to your x-axis and go up. 3 1/3. So 3 1/3. There's only one that's 3 1/3 above the x-axis. There's only one of them. Now, if I had more than one, then I would worry about the other part. But let's see. 2 2/3 to the right. But still G. The point is G. Number C is point G. It is 3 1/3 above the x-axis. And 2 2/3 to the right of the y. If I'm at the y and I go to the right 2 2/3, I'm going to run into point G. Really? Right there. 2 2/3. Really, really. Which point is located 5 1/3 units from the y-axis? If I'm at the y-axis and I'm going, get the flu cooties away from me, 5 1/3 away, 5 1/3. So 5 1/3 is only one. What point is that? K. K is the only one that is 5 1/3 away from the y-axis. Y-axis runs vertically. There's only one that is 5 1/3 away from it. Which point is located 1 2/3 along the x-axis? I'm strolling along the x-axis. Strolling along the x-axis, not from it, along. You got to really learn your words because sometimes they're going to screw you up. So, strolling along. Which one? 1 2/3. M. 1 2/3. Boom, 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 boom. Because there was one that is 1 2/3 away from, but we're going along. This one, M. You have to be watching how they use the words. What is the coordinate pair for K? What are the points for K? 5 1/3 and yes, 2 2/3. What is J, Jackson? J for Jackson. Yeah, huh? Right here. J is down there. You've got H-I-J. Where is J?
Right in the bottom.
By J.
Still like the answer.
Your? Oh, that's I. I'm sorry. I'm looking. You see how small mine is?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks curved. Looks like a J.
It's 3 1/3.
Sorry.
1 2/3.
1 2. I apologize. It looks like a J. If you look at mine, it looks like a J on there. Okay, give me a break. Okay. And then now I wrote over my paper and I can't see it. All right. B. Okay, now I see that's an I. Okay. So B, what are the coordinates for B, Michaela?
5 2/3.
I'll give you the 5 2/3. Does it go up at all?
Nope.
So does it have a y coordinate? What is it then? Does it go up? 0. It does not go up. So it's 0. If it were 1/3, it would be right there. Is it right there? No. So it's 0. It is on the x-axis, so it is 0. And then finally, C, Carlasia. Carlasia. What is C?
5 1. Wait, what? No.
We find C. Okay, there's C.
Oh yeah, 5 1/3. Wait, what?
There are two coordinates.
And 0.
You have to get in the elevator before you go up to your floor. Let's
0.
thank you. 0 and 5 1/3. Superman has to go into the elevator before he changes his clothes to take flight. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, I never thought.
All right. So what point is that 1 2/3 and 2/3, Abe Smith?
I couldn't find it when
What is here? M. You go to the right, 1 2/3. You go up 2/3. M. 0 and 2 2/3. Lovely. Yes. 1 and 0. Malachi. Yeah. Literally.
Smack your face to look there.
Went in the elevator and got stuck. Didn't go up. 2 and 5 2/3, Stanley. Over 2, up 5 2/3, letter N. Which point has an equal x and y, meaning the x and the y are the same number? The x and the y are the same. Kim. L. This is 5. This is 5. They are equal, so it is L. Same number, 5, 5. Those of y'all like, oh, that's what that meant. That's what that means. Equal. Same number. What are the coordinates for the intersection of the two axes? X-axis, Y-axis. What are the coordinates for where they cross? That's not coordinates. That's one number. Coordinates are 2. Coordinates, 2 numbers. What are coordinates? Numbers, not letters. What are coordinates for where the y-axis and the x-axis intersect? Where do they intersect? That's a number. I need 2 numbers.
Oh. 1, 0.
So 1, 0. Thank you.
Oh.
Because you tell me. So it goes like this. 1, 0. 0.
Oh, yeah.
0.
I should have got it right.
0, 0. That's how you get the origin of 0. 0.0 for the y, for the x, 0.0 for the y. Another name for this point on the plane is the origin. Origin. It's not Oregon. Oregon is a state or a thing in my body like my stomach. Or the thing like a piano that you play in church. It's origin. If you follow G with an I, it's J. Origin. Okay, so you need to plot. Did y'all plot these points, or did you kind of give up here going, this is so hard, I can't do it? Did you plot P, Q, R, S? Did you plot them?
Not yet. What do we have to do?
Do you have a P over here? Do you have a Q?
Yes.
R, S. that were already put on there? No, then you have to put them there.
4 1/3 and 4.
I don't know this one.
So 4, oops. Oh, you don't have a pen. Yeah, you do. Why isn't it doing anything?
I put it rolling on this. I think it's right here.
That's 4. Look.
I know.
Look what it. 4 and 1. Excuse me. 4 and 1/3 and 4. Where's 4 1/3?
Come on, you're right. I know. I've been all the way up to 4.
4 and 1/3 and 4. He has brain and everything. Put the eraser. You put the eraser in the wrong spot. This is recording, by the way. 4 and 1/3 and 4. There you go. Label it P. So 4 and 1/3. So there's 4. 4 and 1/3 is the next one over. So 4 and 1/3 is the X. 4 is the Y. So P is right there. So Q. See, oh, anyone in that number? Someone knocking at the door? 1/3 and 6. Are you at 1/3 or 1 and 1/3?
Oh.
Label it Q.
Oh.
So 1/3 is just one line after the 0 up to 6. 1. 4 and 2/3 and 1.
Miss Strickland,
Ma'am?
do you have Kylie?
I do not. She's next door.
Do you have Ava?
I do.
I need Ava for an early.
Okay.
Okay, you go over to 4 and 2/3? No. 4 and 1.
Okay. So the one thing that I would say, I know what you're doing. The only critique I would make,
And I'm not like fussing or anything. I'm not like, "Ah." The only thing that I would say is if I were scoring this and I wanted to be like persnickety or something, I'm not exactly sure where your R is. Because I don't know if your R is down here or if your R is here. So the one thing you need to work on, you see how every single thing up here has a dot. So it's saying like plot a point and label it, thank you, label it with a letter. So you need to make sure, I really know where you put it, but if I really wanted to be OCD about it. You need to make sure, because there might be some teachers later. I know what you put in. So if I really wanted to be sure you knew where you were putting it, and not just like doing like if you were doing a spelling test and it were IE or EI, you weren't sure, and you kind of do like this and put the dot in the middle. You know how some of y'all do that? I used to do it too. This would be the same thing. So make sure that you put the dot where the point goes, and then you can put the R wherever. Because like you're putting like the R really big, so I'm not sure exactly where where exactly is the point. That's the only thing I'm saying. Just make sure you put the dot where the point goes. That's the only thing I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. Okay, and then S.
S. 0, 1 2/3. Excellent. So it does not go to the right at all. Goes up 1 2/3.
And then on these with the lines, what is the distance between E and H for EH? So when they put them together like this, EH, it will be like if you were making a line segment with those 2 points. Now normally they would have it with like a little line over the top like that. You might have done that in 4th grade, where they would put like a little line on top. But they're asking you what is the distance between E and H or EH. You don't have to go like 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. It's just counting the squares, the units that you're having to go, like a distance. Okay? So from point A to point B, point E to point H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all it is. So you would say 8 units. That's all it is. Simple, simple, simple. Because it was 8 squares to get from E to H. 8 units. What is the length of HD? So from H to D, from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units. Would the length E to D be greater or less than EH plus HD? So EH plus HD, this is 15. Now, if you just throw 15 down there and call it a day, does that answer the question? No. No. Greater or less than. We haven't even done ED. Now, ED is a diagonal. So this one is a little bit tricky. Now, I was looking at the key to the problem set, and it didn't really have any kind of lines drawn. So I'm just real quick going to look and see what they've got here. Don't copy me real quick. So I'm going to look and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Because we don't really do on a grid, we don't cut and do diagonal. We go, because you don't. Because at points we're going to be doing things with coordinates, with maps and going to places. We go up and to the left. We go down and to the right. We don't cut across. We don't do diagonals. We go up and over and down. We just do like up and down, left and right. We don't cut across diagonal. So from E to D, would the length of ED be greater than or less than EH and HD? So from E to D, this is 14. So it is less because ED is 14. So it is less. Now, it's not even asking by how much. It's not asking you to solve anything. It's just asking, is it bigger than or less than? It's less than.
Which one?
Okay, so for N, it says Jack was absent when the teacher explained how to describe the location of a point on the coordinate plane. So even, say there was someone who was absent today, or someone who was absent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, unfortunately, and say I didn't record my lessons. Y'all would be in trouble when you try to do your homework. And you wanted to say, like, Ms. Strickland, I know you got a lot to do. I'm going to explain how to find point L to Jack. So what would you do to explain how to find, it says point J, and I forgot that there was point J on there. How to find point J on the coordinate plane. How would you make it in a way, how would you word it in a way that Jack could really understand and not just say, oh, it's found at 3 1/3 and 1 2/3 and just giving the coordinates? Does that really explain how to find it? Did I do that again? Darn. See, it looks like a J. Sorry, it's curved. It looks like a J. There's J. Here I am. So, thank you. And they both look like J's on the smartboard. Thank you. So, what?
Just write it.
Well, and now I ended up erasing it because it looks so cluttered already. So, what would you do? How would you word it to find this where, now that I've erased it all, if you've got your points, what are the coordinates of J?
It's 3.
Where is J?
It's
3 and 0.
3 and 1/3.
It's 3 and 1/3 and
0.
1/3. It is not on the line, it's above the line. So we already know it's the coordinates. So does that help Jack? No. So how could you word it in a way that could help Jack figure out, or how could you describe the location of this point to where maybe he could understand it? What is something that you could do? Yes. Sometimes you can think it in your head, but it doesn't. Welcome to my world, where you know what you want to say, but it just doesn't come out of your mouth. And you're like, that's not what I meant. Happens to me all the time. How would you word it? Now, make sure you know what you want to say, and don't just kind of make it up as you go along, because then it's never going to come out right. Know what you want to say. So take a second. Go right on the x-axis 2, 3 and 1/3. Go up on the y-axis. Several of you brought up the y-axis, but you didn't say anything about the x-axis. On the y-axis, 1/3. And that should be it. That would be the location. You go right 3 1/3. You go up 1/3. You will be at J. That's the location. That's it. Okay.